Hi, let's get started. Okay, so I'm using two different shades of concealer. The first one is more of a light pink tone concealer. I'm using that around my eyes and a little bit in areas of my face where I'm going to want more coverage. Now I'm taking a concealer that's close to my natural skin tone and I'm applying that in all the areas I applied the first concealer, but I'm avoiding the under eye because I do want to keep that lighter and more of a pink undertone. Then I'm blending that out with a brush. I do prefer brushes to sponges. It's just the way that I've always liked doing makeup. And you'll notice I have areas of redness and irritation on my face. I do have eczema and dermatitis, and it gets a lot worse in winter. So normally I wouldn't apply makeup over this. It's better to not further irritate your skin, but for the purpose of the video today, I am. Now I'm applying the Charlotte Tilbury Flawless Filter over top of any areas that I would normally want to highlight. So for me, that's the tops of my cheekbones and sometimes the outer corner of my brow bone. And I usually would do this before concealer, but because I forgot, I'm doing it in reverse today. Now I'm using a product by Makeup by Mario. I'm using this in the shade Light, and I'm applying it everywhere that I'm planning to apply my contour. I like going in with a more neutral bronzer type shade before I go in with my cool tone contour. I find that it helps everything blend together and just look more natural in the end. I also like to put a little bit of leftover product on the jawline area just to make sure that everything flows together. Now I'm taking a cream contour by Fenty. It's in the shade Amber, which is great for lighter and more fair skin tones. And I'm just applying that everywhere that we put the other Makeup by Mario product, except I'm being even more specific with this. And I'm putting it in a more controlled area. I'm also putting some on my nose because you don't want all of the contour and bronze to be only on the outside of the face. And then you really want to make sure you blend everything really well. I like to look at it in a couple of different sources of lighting because sometimes it can be tricky and it might look like it's well blended when it's not. A lot of people like to put the product directly on the face, but you can also load your brush up with the product first and then apply it with your brush. I do that sometimes as well. It just kind of depends what I'm feeling that day. I also like to use the contour shade as a little bit of a natural eye contour, the same way that you would with eyeshadow, and then I like to use a smaller brush to blend it out on the nose and often on the eyes as well. Now I'm using Benetint as a natural blush tone, and I'm putting that on my cheeks and blending out with a brush. This is so great because it lasts all day since it's a stain. I remember using this way back when I was in high school, and I wish I never strayed away from it because it helps your makeup last so much longer when it comes to blush. And if you didn't know, blush is usually one of the first makeup products that fades throughout the day, so I'm putting a little bit on my nose as well so that it's not only on the outside of my face. And I also put whatever's left over on my chin just so everything is cohesive. If you want it extra blended, you can also go back in with your concealer brush just to go around the edges. Set my under eyes, I'm going in with the pressed Charlotte Tilbury powder on a small brush, and I find this works better than a loose powder for the under eye. For the rest of my face, I'm using my Ride or Die powder, which is the Maybelline Fit Me Loose powder, and it gives a nice airbrush look. I've been using it for years. I like to slightly use the baking technique in areas that I know I tend to get more oily or where my makeup fades the fastest, and then the rest of my face, I do a really light dusting, and I avoid any areas that I want to intentionally look glowy. And you can also go over the edges of your blush and contour just to make things more seamless and kind of blend it all together. Now I'm going to highlight. I'm going to use a powder highlight product, and you can use any product you already have for this. If you're someone who has texture like enlarged pores or scarring, this might be a step that you want to skip. Usually I actually just stick with the Charlotte Tilbury Flawless Filter and I skip the powder over top, but if you want it to last longer throughout the day, it can definitely help. Next I use a setting spray, which is optional, and then I apply some lip balm because we're going to do some lip liner. Makeup by Mario lip liner. Love all of his lip liners so much. They're definitely my favorite, and he has an amazing range of shades. So I'm going to line my lips and slightly fill them in with the liner. And once that's done, I'm going to take out my Benetint again, and I'm going to apply that a little bit in the center of my lips. And then I'm going to use my finger to kind of smudge it out and blend it in into the liner. Then I take any lip gloss I want to use. It can be clear, it can be colored, or even just a lip balm, and I apply that over top. It just helps to blend everything together. And that's it for a simple, natural base makeup look using only concealer and no foundation as the base. Hopefully it's something easy for you to recreate if you feel like trying it out, and let me know in the comments below if you have any questions. Promise I'll be getting the audio sorted out before I continue making videos. Thanks, bye.